Back at it again with another video, and this time I wanted to take a look at a tower that has so much love from the entire community that it is pretty much rated as one of the best towers in the game, and no, it's sadly not the accelerator. As you guys know, there are hundreds of towers, well, not really hundreds, but loads of towers in TDS, and a lot of them fall into many different sections of the game. The first section being terrible, trash, never use them. The second section is being mid-ish and pretty good in different game modes, but not in all of them. And then finally, the third section being god tier good in every single game mode, no matter what game mode it is. And one of these towers to fall in the third section of being god tier is the Ranger. Ranger is known as one of the best towers in the entire game and has always been super powerful for pretty much so long at this point. However, he wasn't always like this. As a lot of you OGs know, back then he was completely named to something else, and that was Outlaw. And this man did significantly lesser damage. Now, I don't really have any video footage because I tried looking it up, but the YouTube rabbit hole is literally so endless that I'm just not going to waste any more of my time. The Outlaw pretty much did very little damage and not really was too amazing, but still did the job relatively well. But then, on the 29th of October 2020, the Outlaw was renamed to the Ranger and a full rework of the Ranger was initiated. They increased his cost and his level of requirement to unlock him to level 15, but ultimately, many of the changes to the Ranger were ultimately buffs, like huge buffs, game-changing buffs essentially. First things first is his damage. He did approximately 80 damage per shot, so we're already off to a pretty good start, and then his level 2 damage was increased to 140. Level 3 increased to 300 damage per shot, and of course, having a reload time, or fire to fire time I guess you could say, for 3 seconds. So quite honestly, that's already off to a very good level start. Old Outlaw Ranger was essentially at max level, did approximately 350 damage at max, which quite honestly back then was also pretty solid and great. Paradox decided to say, fuck it! They increased his damage from 300 to 1,000 damage, 1,000 damage, or 1,050 damage per shot, which is crazy. And of course, every single shot he fires at max level, he does a little explosive damage of 150, so that's a pretty nice bonus as well. Now, of course, this isn't all sunshine and rainbows, because one negative that I'm pretty sure every single one of you know is that the rate of fire speed for the final level is immensely increased from 3 seconds to 7 whole seconds at max, which is of course just a slap in the face. 7 whole seconds of your tower not shooting and just reloading is quite honestly pretty cringe. But I mean, with the insanely huge range from the Ranger, it's pretty much not a big deal, especially when he has a huge amount of time to just disintegrate enemies with his humongous range. Seriously, his range is literally the entire map, no matter where you put him, which is of course amazing. 1,000 damage per shot from a Ranger is crazy. Now, the final level also is very expensive at around 54,000 cash without a discount from the DJ, so you better hope you have someone in your house to sell their kidneys to afford this upgrade, because you're probably not going to afford this anytime soon. But that's just one Ranger. You can place up to 7 whole Rangers, all of them max, which does approximately 7,350 damage per shot, which is of course amazingly great to take down those extremely strong and powerful and even speedy bosses. Like, that is crazy good. And that damage is not including the DJ's bonusing, which is a whole other different numbers, but trust me, it's even more stronger. But an amazing tower to combine the Ranger with, or at least to combo the Ranger with, is the Commander. As you guys all know, this Commander pretty much boosts any nearby towers' rate of fire speed passively, and with his activation ability, he increases their rate of fire speed exponentially for the next, like, I'd say 10-ish seconds. The rate of fire passive ability from the commander, the max ranger's rate of fire speed at max is 5 seconds, nearly 6, but 5 whole seconds, which is of course really damn good. But even better is Commander's Call of Arms ability is active. This number drops even lower to an astounding 4.5 seconds during the Call of Arms ability, which is great for Rangers to take down enemies very much more quickly in order to save a lot more time. This strategy, more or less the Commander with the Ranger, is a very popular pick, especially in game modes such as Hardcore, because of course you need to kill this motherfucker, the Void Reaver, as fast as humanly possible, and the Ranger with the Commander is an amazing combo. With all of these reasons listed above, the Ranger's insane damage, pretty long rate of fire speed, or at least reload time, with his insanely huge attack range, this man is undeniably one of the best towers in the entire game. Sure, his update log isn't necessarily the most straightforward because there are just tons of nerfs and buffs to the Ranger, which is honestly just a nightmare just looking through. But the Ranger to this day is one of the best towers in the entire game, pretty much ever since it was released, and is nowhere near being the bottom, especially being how much love he is from the community with 0 to no downsides, and of course how reliable this man is in every single game mode imaginable.